What's happening? So I haven't recorded in a while. I've been trying to live a normal life, but as y'all can see, looking funky fresh, yay. But today we're going to talk about macronutrient cycling, aka carb cycling. So I promised you guys a video on what to do when your macros aren't working for you and when your diet reaches a plateau. And today is that video, macronutrient cycling, aka carb cycling. So let's get right into it because it's gonna be a long video. So my buddy, he messaged me saying, hey, what can I do about my diet? I want to see my abs, I want to take my macros to the next level. So his stats: he's 23, he's a male, he weighed 194 pounds, his height, he's 5 feet 7 inches tall, and he trained 5 times a week. So this is what his split was looking like. He's on chest, shoulders, back. Don't worry about the green writing for now. This is his split: chest, shoulders, back, legs, and then off day. So his strong points were chest and shoulders, and his weak points were back and legs. Now if you guys can see, he's training his strong points first: chest, shoulders, and then back and legs, and then off. So if you watched my last video on calories, well, if you haven't, go watch that. I'll put a link to it. But I went to that website and these are the numbers I got for him. So with all these stats, his maintain, his calories would have been 2,700. To lose, he would need to be between 2,200 calories to 2,699 calories. You got to drop that 1 calorie. If he's at 27, he's maintaining right there. So I chose 2,400 for him, which puts him at a deficit of around 300. So if you watched the last video, if he did the macros the way I did them in that video, these are the macros he would have come up with. So it would have been 230 grams of protein, the carbs would have been 250, and the fats would have been 53. Now those fats are pretty low. Actually, all these numbers are pretty low because he's on a calorie restriction, but he weighs 194 pounds and he's eating 230 grams of protein. This is where some personalizing for each individual can come into play. So I did that for him. I gave him 3 sets of macros, as you can see. This is carb cycling. So in the last video, the first things we got out of the way were protein, and then we got the fats out of the way, and then we got the carbs out of the way. In this one, what we're focusing on is getting the carbs first, and then we do the other 2. Actually, before I even start talking about that, the reason you want to carb cycle is because your body uses carbohydrates as energy. So theoretically, if you don't give your body that many carbs, your body will use fat as energy, and that's what will make you break that plateau. If you go lower in carbs, you'll burn more fat. So that's why we're doing the carb cycling. Back to the macros. So we're gonna have a low carb day, we're gonna have a medium carb day, and we're gonna have a high carb day. So for the low carb day, what we wanted to do, we wanted to be between 100 and 150 grams of protein. Now this is the mild version. There's a more intense version for people that are trying to get ready for shows, but he's not trying to get ready for a show. He just wants to get hoe ready, not show ready, just like Chris Jones says. So we're going to put him between this window, 100 to 150 grams for a low carb day. We actually went with 150. And then his protein is 240 grams, and his fats are 93 grams. So these are the percentages for each, if you guys are wondering. Next, right here, for the carbs, we wanted to be between 175 to 250. We went with 210 grams, which turned out to be 35% of his carbs. We stayed with 240 grams of protein, and we bumped up the fats in this one. Now, after a certain ratio, you start wasting protein. He only weighs 194 pounds, so 240 is good for him. I think anything like once you go between 1.5 to 2 grams, you're in like that little window where you could possibly be wasting protein. 1.5 is probably like the highest I'll go, like even on a bulk. But yeah, 240 is what we stayed at for him. I think that was high enough. So instead we just bumped up his fats for this one and his carbs. So for the high carb day, we wanted to get as many carbs as possible for this high carb day. So what I did was I did 20% for his fats. We did 20%, which came out to be 53 grams. And then for his protein, we just did 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So he weighs 194 pounds, so he's getting 194 grams of protein. And then the rest of his calories just went to his carbs. So it was 287 grams of carbs, which comes out to be 48%. So that was his high carb day. Now, using these days, now we have these 3 different days. We got to implement them into his split. So he has his strong point, chest, shoulders, and then his weak point, back and legs. So on his strong day, I would do low carb. You shouldn't need that much energy. If this is already your strong point, just go low carb. Bam, strong point. Back and legs, which one do you want to use medium and high for? Now high, I'm already thinking legs. Back, we're gonna use medium. Everybody, legs is rough. Let's just be truthful about it. Legs is rough, so we're gonna go with high. So on his off day, he's not training, so I recommended he didn't have to, but I recommended he drop his calories from 2,400 to 2,100 for this day because he's not really training, but he doesn't need to. Let's say he doesn't do that, I would keep the macros at the medium. Not super low, but I would just keep them at medium. So then he did chest, shoulders would be the following day, which is low because it's a strong point, and then he would do back, and then he'd do legs, and then he would do a refeed. Now refeed, he's pretty lean, so he can refeed. If you're not at a low body fat percentage, you don't need to refeed as often, but he was pretty lean, so I recommended that on this second off day he does the refeed. Now a refeed, you're supposed to do, I have a little note right here, it's 20 to 25% more than your maintenance. So his maintenance was 2,700. So I recommended that he do 20 to 25% more than his maintenance. So we're gonna do his maintenance right here times 0.2, which is 20%, which comes out to be 540 calories extra. So we just added that, 2,700 calories plus 540 is 3,240 calories. Now for the refeed day, these are the macros right here. The refeed day, the point of the refeed day is to raise your leptin levels. Now leptin levels, there's 2 huge main functions which everybody knows about. Well, mostly everybody knows about if you're doing this. The leptin levels controls your cravings. So let's say you're dieting for a long period of time. After a while you're gonna be like, oh, I want that McDonald's, I want that Burger King, I want this and I want that. So raising leptin levels will take some of that away. It'll curb some of that. Another thing it does is it slows metabolism if your levels go way too low, and we don't want that because we want your metabolism to keep going so you can continue to burn fat. The slower your metabolism, the slower you burn fat. So the point of this refeed day is to raise those levels, which will raise your metabolism, reset it basically, and curb your appetite. It'll get rid of those cravings that you have. So these are the macros that we're going to do for him. We're going to try and get as many carbs. So the point of a refeed is to get as many carbs as possible because those leptin levels will be raised by glucose, and carbs will be converted into glucose, and which will raise your leptin levels. So we want to get as many carbs as possible. So what I did for him, I factored this first one. I knew we were going to just do one gram per 1 pound of body weight. So he weighs 194 like I said. So we just did 194 grams, and then times 4 calories per gram, so it's 776 calories for protein. The next one I did was fat. You don't want to go any higher than 30% of fat for your refeed day. So we kept it at 30%, so I multiplied this number, 3,240, by 30, and I got 972 calories. And we're going to divide it by 9 calories per gram because fats are 9 calories per gram. So we divided this number by 9 and we got 108 grams. So that's how many grams of fat he would be hitting on his refeed. And then the rest of the calories, let's see, the rest of the calories was this. This is what we used, 1748. That's what we used for protein and fat. So what we were left with was 1,492, we divided that by 4 and we got 373 grams for his carbs. So the numbers that are underlined in red, those are the numbers he'd be hitting on his refeed day. So that's a little look into the refeed. So like I said, he's training his strong points first and his weak points last. I would do priority training, so that your weak points, I would train them first, and your strong points, train them last, because at the start of the week you're going to have the most energy. So also, if you see, he has a high carb day before his refeed day. It won't be as effective because the day before he will have just had a lot of carbs, and then the point of the refeed is to refuel your body with more carbs. So what I recommended was that he do a new split. This is the new split I recommended for him. So he's going to do legs first, which is a high. He's going to do back, which is medium, and then chest and shoulders, which is his strong point. He's going to do low carb. And then he's going to do his first off day, which is medium. He could do the 2100 calories instead of the 2400 if he wanted. And then he's going to do his leg day, which is high carb, back day, which is medium carb, chest day, which is low carb, and then his second off day will be his refeed, which will be these numbers that we went over. So now, as you can see, his refeed day will be a lot more effective because he will have just got rid of all his carbs throughout the week, and then after this low carb day, he will spike up his carb levels with that refeed day. Let's see, did we miss anything? I don't believe so. So yeah, that's what we went over. That's the low medium high carb. That is what's known as carb cycling. Now that's for him. Those are his stats and everything. That's what he would be on. That's not what I would be on. I'd probably be a little bit more higher calorie. I'd have like another 400 to 500 calories, so my macros would be higher. But if you guys want to see his stats again, those were his stats. He was 23, a male, 194 pounds, 5'7", and he trained about 5 times a week. So I hope I got everything in that video. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask me. Yeah, comment below. Don't forget to like. I always forget to say to like, but supposedly liking the video makes it pop up like on the side or something. So do me a favor and like the video right now, and share it with your friends if you think someone can benefit from it. I know a lot of people know how to do the regular carb or the regular macros, which if you haven't watched that one, go watch that one. This one's right now at like 13 minutes, I believe. So it's not as long as the other one. This one actually had a lot more information. So yeah, that's carb cycling, aka macronutrient cycling. I will be doing a transformation video soon. You guys will probably want to see my transformation. So yeah, that's what I have planned. See you guys later.